News begins with breaking news.
Now is the time for calm. Now is a time to allow the investigation to shed light on this event, and we plan to be open and transparent within the rules of the law.
Breaking overnight, there's been another deadly police shooting that involves a black man. It's happening out in California in El Cajon near San Diego, where officers say a man was shot several times. That was a still picture from the moment just before the shots were fired. Police Chief Jeff Davis is saying the man that was killed was not armed, but did pull an object from his pocket and then pointed it in a, quote, shooting stance toward two officers.
At this time, one of the officers with the taser discharged his taser in an effort to subdue the subject. Simultaneously, the officer who had the object pointed at him discharged his firearm, striking the male.
Now, before the shooting, officers did get a call from a woman saying he was the man's sister and he was acting strangely, not like himself. Davis did not release the name of the man shot or exactly what it is he was holding, but we're following this breaking news and we'll get you any updates throughout the morning.
Also breaking this morning, State Road 50 in Brevard County just reopened because of this brush fire that is burning right now in some portions. So far, it's burned about 400 acres and it's only 30% contained. It started around 9 last night. State troopers blocked off both east and westbound lanes until about 30 minutes ago. Drivers are still being warned, though, about the heavy smoke that's in that area.
Now, Wink weather on the ones.
I definitely hate to see that in my home county. Hopefully they can see some rain for today, and that could help alleviate some of the issues within Brevard County. Let's talk about your forecast for today. A very good Wednesday morning, halfway through the week. 89 degrees, a mixture of sunshine and clouds, and we're going to have another round of those hit or miss scattered storms. But for some, look at this. We do have some early morning rain scattered here across coastal Collier County, coming in from the west and moving east. And essentially what you will see, periods of moderate to at times heavy rain. And take a look at the southern half of Marco Island. Pretty good wave right there, continuing eastward. Everglades City, we do have some scattered areas of rain. Not nearly as wet around Lee County, but zooming in just south of Boca Grande, pocket of brief heavy rain. You'll see the rain for around 10 to 15 minutes, and then this little guy will continue on its way. But it does look like that cell will either skim or completely miss Boca Grande. 74 degrees right now, the current temperature. The winds are light, and we knew it couldn't last forever. The monkey meter is a little bit higher than what we had 24 hours ago, so that tells me that humidity has been on the rise. So notice how for this morning, we will have that potential for a couple areas of rain, especially closer towards our coast. As we hit lunchtime, a couple spotty areas of rain, scattered rain as we hit the first half of the afternoon, and then we're going to try to push that better chance of rain by the late afternoon and evening hours, more inland, but we still could see a couple areas of rain near our coast as we see a high temperature of 89.
Well, right now, Southwest Florida has a fishy problem that's got to be fixed soon. Hundreds of dead fish, you can see them here on the beach, washing up in Charlotte County because of red tide. The smell from them apparently overwhelming Englewood Beach. Fish and Wildlife says there is a large red tide bloom off of Minnesota Key right now. We spoke to a number of people at the beach who said they could barely breathe.
Even from just at the car in the parking lot, we already smelt it, and we were here the last couple days and it was bad, but it definitely got worse.
It's kind of like you've got like bronchitis or something. It just kind of makes you tight. I mean, I even sound a little weird to myself.
FWC says the red tide bloom could move south down Charlotte towards the Lee County shores. In the meantime, children and the elderly with respiratory issues are told to avoid areas with high red tide.
Today, the Senate will decide whether to override President Obama's veto on the so-called 9/11 bill. That measure would allow families of September 11th victims to sue Saudi Arabia. The Senate will need a 2/3 vote on that bill before it goes to the House for a similar override vote later this week. Although several of the 9/11 terrorists were from Saudi Arabia, the Saudi government has denied having any role in the attacks. President Obama nominates the first U.S. ambassador to Cuba in more than 50 years. The president appointed Jeffrey De Laurentiis to the position. He oversaw the reopening of the U.S. embassy there and played a key role in reestablishing ties between the U.S. and Cuba. Obama says there's no better candidate for the job, but some critics are opposed to any nomination, and they accuse the Castro regime of continued human rights violations. Meanwhile, Dr. Jill Biden plans to travel to Cuba next month. The second lady will be joined by United States Ambassador Catherine M. Russell. Together, they will meet with government officials in Havana and Camagüey. They will discuss topics related to culture, education, and health. After Cuba, they'll travel to the Dominican Republic, where they'll meet with the government and civil society partners to talk about economics and women's education.
4:35 and coming out of Campaign Central, 84 million Americans were glued to the TV for that first presidential debate. But there were many more actually watching around the world. At a coffee shop in Beijing, for instance, 24 millennials tuned in to see Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, several feeling the candidates misrepresented relations between the U.S. and China, but also thought Trump would be friendlier towards their country.
I personally like Trump's character, and he feels like a fighter. But from the performance, I think Clinton was more like a mature politician.
Now, in London, where betting is part of the culture, odds makers picked Hillary Clinton as the winner with 2 to 5 odds. She's going to be the next president. An Egyptian diplomat summed it up as boring, saying both candidates lacked leadership and charisma. Clinton and Trump face off again in their next debate Sunday, October the 9th in St. Louis. Wink News learning this morning about a threat against a Lee County couple for showing their support for Donald Trump, telling Wink News they got this letter in the mail demanding they take down the sign in their front lawn or their home would be vandalized. The letter does use a swear word, and it calls the Cape Coral homeowners stupid. It came apparently from the Tampa area.
I was just kind of a little scared and shocked that anything would come in our mail system and have such threats and name calling. It made me stay up until 3 a.m. kind of on watch.
Another neighbor also got a letter, and they called the Lee County Sheriff's Office. Both homeowners are deciding they will keep their signs up.
On the docket, a prominent Fort Myers attorney is expected to go before a judge arrested for kidnapping, aggravated assault, and battery.
Criminal defense lawyer David Brenner is still behind bars this morning. Fort Myers police are not saying exactly what led to his arrest, but it's not his first time in cuffs. It's actually Brenner's third arrest since 2012. In that year, he was arrested for domestic violence after allegedly attacking his girlfriend. In 2014, he was accused of attacking a man outside of a sports bar in downtown. That case is closed.
A little background on Brenner. He's a well-known defense attorney here in Fort Myers. He represented Casey Ortiz, a former Cape Coral officer convicted of having sex with a minor while on duty. He also represented Robert Dunn, who killed his wife in 2008. A man who helped transition the Fort Myers Police Department through a very rough year, we're learning, is retiring. Captain Dennis Eads served as the interim police chief for nearly a year and spent 30 years in all in the department. Eads served as chief during 2 deadly shootings that received national attention during ZombieCon and Club Blue. His last day is next Thursday. Today, the Cape Coral Police Department will be holding a news conference. They're not saying what it's about, but they do tell us it's a big deal. Count on Wink News for live coverage starting on Wink News today at noon.
Caught on camera for you overnight, a large bear making a midnight run near some homes in Collier County. Florida Fish and Wildlife were called out to a house in the 4100 block of Kentucky Way in Ave Maria. Did you see the bear? The bear was at times, some people said, acting funny, and they worried it was injured. It was eating garbage at times, sitting in some bushes by the front door of one home, too. Fish and Wildlife did not kill the bear. They shot it with some pink bean bags instead, scared it away, and also marks it for further tracking. A lot of people in that neighborhood were quickly notified. Fish and Wildlife thinks the bear was about 425 pounds, and witnesses are claiming it stood about 7 feet tall.
Whoa.
That's a big bear.
Yes.
Yeah. Attention business owners, in about 2 months, your insurance premiums for your employees go up, and we're going to explain why.
Plus, you've heard of the yellow brick road, but what about a solar-powered road? See the crazy new invention that could change the energy industry around the world.
And Wink News meteorologist Matt Devitt will be right back updating that Weather on the Ones forecast for you, 4:39 right now.